All right, everybody, good mid-afternoon to you. Current time is about 3:24 p.m. here on Thursday, January 19th. I'm forecaster Nick Dunn, live with an update for you in regards to where we currently stand with our severe weather potential. We do still have a severe thunderstorm watch for portions of northern Ohio, central Ohio, southwestern Ohio, also into the Miami Valley, and also into eastern Indiana. Now, right now, the radar picture, not very impressive whatsoever. And again, keep in mind that these type of setups are, relatively conditional. And we've kind of been mentioning today that this is a very rare type setup for us. And sometimes there are things in the atmosphere that can kind of limit what we may see out there in terms of severe weather. So far, what we are seeing here is we're seeing some issues with moisture return, particularly across southeastern Indiana and into southwestern Ohio. And as you can see on the radars, we kind of zoom things down into that general area for you. You can see that the shower activity in places like Dayton, into Richmond, and down to Cincinnati, you're just seeing some greens and a few yellows. We're not seeing anything overly impressive to this point in time. Now, keep in mind, we're still relatively early in this overall timing of things, but obviously with each passing hour that we're not seeing any kind of warnings, this is a good thing, and that would kind of limit our severe weather threat. Where things have been a little stronger and where moisture has been able to get a pretty good return today is across northeastern Indiana and into west central Ohio. I'll turn on the radar from the Northern Indiana Weather Service office for us. You can see some deeper yellows and oranges and reds, some reports of some pea-size hail across parts of northeastern Indiana. We do see a newer type thunderstorm starting to develop across parts of Auglaize and Shelby counties, and so that may start to trigger some additional activity here in the next little while, but we're going to have to watch this pretty closely and see how things trend over the next couple of hours. Now, sunshine-wise, we have plenty of that. However, the issue right now appears to be that we may have gotten a little too warm today, and so that's allowed for the dew points to start to mix out just a little bit. We'll see how this evolves over the next couple of hours. Again, we're still relatively early in the overall grand scheme of things. Everything so far is kind of on track, with the exception of the fact that our showers to our south and west have really struggled to get very deep, and they're just kind of struggling to get relatively strong in general. So here's a look at temperatures across the board right now, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. So temperatures where the sun is out have gotten very warm, well into the 60s this afternoon across parts of even the Miami Valley. But here's the issue. Let's go to the dew points. Yeah, dew points this afternoon. I know that's actually really hard to see. Let's see if I can fix that for you. There we go. So dew points this afternoon, we're seeing a lot of 30s, and this is not good, and this was not modeled very well to see these dew points that low. So what does this mean in the grand scheme of things? Well, number one, when we have dew points of this magnitude, we don't get the ability to get the moisture content that we need to combine with the instability to produce showers and thunderstorms that would turn strong to severe. So what that generally means is that as it stands right now, the severe risk may be starting to dwindle just a little bit. However, dew points are still relatively modest and favorable across our northern counties. Mid to upper 40s dew points around Findlay and Toledo, over to Cleveland, and even down to Delaware and Bell Fountain. So what I'm starting to think what we may see here is the risk may be a little bit further north than originally thought, because temperatures have gotten so warm this afternoon across parts of central and southwestern Ohio, and even into the mid-Ohio Valley. Now, again, we still have a severe thunderstorm watch, so things are still relatively early. I'll turn the dew points back on for us. These lower dew points which means that the air has mixed out a little bit. It's not as favorable for severe thunderstorm development. But with that said, the other issue we still have at hand is that we're going to have gusty winds regardless if we get severe weather or not. So I just want you to be prepared for that. Your evening commute could be a little blustery in some locations, and we're kind of keeping an eye on things. So the other thing, though, too, with these lower dew points is that we may not get as much in the way of thunder and lightning. Yes, we have some thunderstorm activity now, kind of centered in on northeastern Indiana and parts of west central Ohio to this point, but these lower dew points mean that we may not be able to get convective type thunderstorms. You may just kind of be looking at some very strong rain showers more than anything. So we'll watch and see how things develop here over the next handful of minutes here. And we are already starting to see the severe thunderstorm watch being canceled in some locations as well. We have also now seen a wind advisory that has been issued for portions of central Ohio and southwestern Ohio, and I think that is more or less because these showers may be causing some downward momentum transfers, and so we may be seeing some of these gusts, 50 to 55 miles per hour at times. So we're just going to kind of continue to sit back and watch and see how things evolve, but so far, early trends would indicate that our risk of severe weather slightly diminishing just a little bit. I don't want you to let it off guard. We're still under a watch until 7 p.m. this evening for these counties you see highlighted in pink. So Bowling Green to Mansfield, back to Fort Wayne and Point South. Muncie has just been dropped out of the watch, but Dayton, Cincinnati, Columbus, Chillicothe, Portsmouth, over to Newark, Mount Vernon, and Logan, you guys are still in the watch. So just kind of remain weather aware. We're going to continue to monitor things for you through the rest of the afternoon and evening, but so far, good trends. So let's hope that this trend continues, and perhaps this will just be a big bust across the board. We would love that. We don't like to see severe weather in January. Obviously, from a preparedness standpoint for some of you at home, maybe a little difficult to kind of be prepared for damaging winds and tornadoes in January. It's just not something that we are normally accustomed to seeing. So let's hope that these type of trends continue. You're going to see some small hail today as well, just because of how cold the atmosphere is. And we're starting to see some reports of hail already. It's relatively small in size, but several reports around Indianapolis to Muncie. Also seeing a report that in Minster right now, pea-sized hail as well, kind of coming through Shelby County and into southern Algois County. So be prepared in the next few minutes for that. But otherwise, again, right now, good trends. And I hope that some of you at home makes you feel a little bit better in general about where the severe risk could be trending this afternoon. So we'll get that wind advisory updated as well. Again, that includes parts of central Ohio down into southwestern Ohio for gusts upwards of 45 to maybe even 55 miles per hour at times. So we're going to just kind of continue to sit back and watch and wait and see what happens here over the next few hours. Our team is here. We hope you stick with us as well. So I'm forecaster Nick Dunn reporting. Thanks for watching. And as always, when thunder roars, be sure you go indoors.